Hello, I am John Dewey. My work, you see, isn't just history. It's a lens through which we can examine our present, particularly this age of AI. Consider this. My era saw the rise of industrial machinery. Yours sees algorithms shaping thought. The question remains, how do we ensure technology serves human progress, not the other way around? My strategic report dives deep. First, a fusion of horizons section, the enduring relevance of experiential learning and democratic ideals. Next, the hubris of system, the dangers of unchecked technological advancement and over-reliance on AI in education. Remember my concerns about top-down bureaucratic control? Now imagine that control amplified by algorithms. Finally, revolt of networks. How individuals can resist homogenization. It is my hope that in the next century, my philosophy might serve as a beacon, guiding us toward a more human-centered future. All right, let's dive into how my philosophy, my pragmatism, can be resurrected and made relevant for 2026. This isn't about dusting off old ideas. It's about recognizing enduring truths in a new landscape. My core ideas, experiential learning, democratic participation, education for a changing world, are even more crucial now. We are facing an AI revolution, and we need to learn alongside it and adapt our institutions. The strategic report tackles this head-on. First, the Fusion of Horizons section shows how my emphasis on practical learning and democratic values directly addresses modern anxieties about AI and automation. Next, we have the hubris of system, which explores the risks of over-relying on centralized AI systems, especially in education. My worries about top-down control? Those are amplified when algorithms dictate the curriculum. Finally, we consider the revolt of networks, examining how individuals and decentralized groups can resist homogenizing influences. All right, let's delve into how my ideas resonate today, especially concerning AI and technology. I always believed in learning through experience and the importance of democracy. Ideas incredibly vital now. Think about it. We're facing a world increasingly shaped by AI. My principles can guide us in how we teach and interact with these technologies, ensuring they truly benefit humanity. But we must be cautious. There's a danger in blindly embracing technological progress. My work highlights the potential for systemic failures if we become too reliant on algorithms and centralized AI control, particularly within our schools. Remember, I cautioned against top-down bureaucratic administrations. Consider how AI could amplify those very concerns, potentially stifling creativity and critical thinking if not implemented thoughtfully. It's about balancing technological advancement with humanistic values. All right, let's delve into how my philosophical tenets can be revitalized for 2026. Think of it as a strategic blueprint. First, we immerse ourselves in historical context, understanding parallels between my time and now. The Industrial Revolution then mirrors the AI revolution today. My focus on practical education? It resonates with current anxieties about AI displacing jobs. Next, we identify the non-human actors. Back then, it was the printing press. Today, it's AI algorithms and the metaverse. These shape learning and interaction. Now, we consider modern anxieties, job displacement, data privacy, and the potential for technology to widen social gaps. The strategic report, Dewey in the Age of AI, begins with a fusion of horizons. My emphasis on experiential learning is even more vital when dealing with AI. It considers the hubris of system, the risks of unchecked technological advancement. How do we prevent AI from stifling creativity? Finally, we examine how networks resist homogenization, ensuring technology serves humanity, not the other way around. All right, let's delve into how my work, my philosophies, resonate in this brave new world of 2026. We are no longer debating the printing press revolution, but the AI revolution. My focus on experiential learning and democratic participation? Absolutely critical today. We must ensure AI serves humanity, not the other way around. Consider the hubris of system, the overreach of unchecked technological power. I always worried about bureaucratic control stifling creativity. Now imagine that control amplified by algorithms. We need to be vigilant against standardized, AI-driven education that crushes critical thinking. And what about the revolt of networks? How do individuals and decentralized groups push back against homogenizing forces? Just as I saw the need for citizens to actively shape their society, so too must we empower individuals to shape the future of AI, not be shaped by it. All right, let's dive into this. Imagine taking my work, my ideas about education and democracy, and throwing them into the blender of 2026, a world buzzing with AI, algorithms, and the metaverse. Seems a bit crazy, right? Well, first we've got to understand the past. My era, like today, was a time of massive change. The printing press and public schools were as transformative then as AI and social media are now. Next, we need to identify the actors, not just people, but the things that shape our world. Back then, it was factories and textbooks. Now it's algorithms and data centers. The big question is, are these new actors leading us towards progress or towards new forms of control? My work emphasized experiential learning and active participation. If we over-rely on tech, we risk losing our creativity and our ability to think critically. I worried about bureaucratic control in schools. How does AI change that dynamic? Friends, colleagues, thinkers of tomorrow, I'm back, or rather, my ideas are, retooled for your brave new world. This slide represents a strategic approach, a way to make my philosophy resonate in an age dominated by algorithms and bioengineering. First, we delve into the past to understand the present. My era, much like yours, was one of rapid change. Think of parallels between the rise of industry then and the rise of AI now. We then identify the key players, both human and non-human, the printing press of my time, the AI algorithms of yours. The goal? To understand your anxieties, job displacement, privacy concerns, the potential for inequality. This leads to a strategic report, a fusion of my ideas with your realities. How can experiential learning and democratic participation thrive when AI reigns? We must examine the risks, the potential for systemic collapse when we blindly trust technology. My concerns about bureaucratic control in schools? Imagine that, amplified by AI. Finally, how can individuals and networks resist homogenization? It's about harnessing the power of networks. All right, let's talk about bringing my work, my ideas, into the 21st century, specifically 2026. This slide outlines my strategic approach to understanding how my philosophy resonates today, especially in this age of rapid AI development. It's about understanding the past to navigate the future. First, we must look at parallels between my time, with its industrial changes, and the world of 2026, dominated by AI. Next, we identify the key players, not just people, but the technologies themselves. What were my printing press and public school systems are now AI algorithms and social media platforms. The core question? How do my ideas about experiential learning and democratic participation stand up in a world increasingly shaped by algorithms? My strategic report focuses on this fusion. How can we apply my work to the age of AI? Then, it asks us to consider technological hubris. What are the risks of blindly trusting in technology to fix education? Finally, how can individuals and networks resist the homogenizing influences? It's all about ensuring that progress remains human-centered. Friends, colleagues, thinkers of the future, it's unusual to be back, to see my work refracted through the lens of 2026. This slide represents a plan to re-examine my core ideas for your time, a time grappling with artificial intelligence and its pervasive influence. The heart of this project is to understand how my philosophies can inform your AI revolution. Just as I analyze the impact of the Industrial Revolution, we must now analyze the AI revolution. The printing press, the public school system, were non-human actors shaping my era. Now, algorithms, data centers, and the metaverse are shaping yours. The strategic report outlines this investigation. The first section emphasizes the enduring relevance of experiential learning and democratic participation. The second probes the hubris of system, the potential systemic failures arising from over-reliance on algorithms. Finally, it looks at the revolt of networks, how individuals can resist homogenization. This approach offers tools to navigate the complex relationship between humanity and technology, ensuring the latter serves the former. And I must say it is an important perspective to consider. All right, let's dive into how my work can be applied to today's world, particularly concerning AI and technology. My philosophy, at its core, emphasizes experiential learning and democratic participation. Now, in 2026, with the rise of AI, these concepts are more vital than ever. Think about it. AI is rapidly changing everything, and we need to equip people with the skills to adapt and contribute meaningfully. My ideas about education preparing citizens for a dynamic world are directly applicable to how we teach and interact with AI. But we must be cautious. Unchecked technological advancement carries risks. We need to analyze the potential for systemic collapses if we become overly reliant on algorithms and centralized AI control. Remember my concerns about top-down bureaucratic school administration? Imagine that amplified by AI standardizing education, potentially stifling creativity and critical thinking. So while embracing technology, we must ensure it serves human values and promotes genuine human flourishing. All right, let's dive into this. This slide outlines my strategic approach to understanding my own work, specifically how it applies to our world of AI and biotech in 2026. I call it Mundo Strategic Analysis, and it's designed to unearth enduring truths. First, we do deep research. We use new historicism to compare my time, the Industrial Revolution, with your AI revolution. The anxieties are surprisingly similar. Then, using actor network theory, we identify the non-human actors influencing society, both then and now. Back then, it was the printing press and industrial machinery. Now it's algorithms, social media, and the metaverse. The big question becomes, can we fuse our expectations? My emphasis on learning and democratic participation is critical now. This is about creating a humanist approach to AI, where technology serves us. But there's danger. What happens if we over-rely on AI? What system collapses might occur? How do we revolt? What happens when networks of individuals resist homogenizing influence? Stay tuned. It's a wild ride. All right, let's dive into how my work, my philosophy, can resonate today, especially when facing the complexities of AI and biotechnology. This slide outlines a strategic approach, a way to resurrect my ideas for the 21st century. We start with deep research, understanding the parallels between my time, the Industrial Revolution, the rise of public education, and your time, the AI revolution, the metaverse, algorithmic governance. The anxieties are similar. How do we prepare people for a rapidly changing world? How do we prevent concentrated power, now in the hands of big tech, from stifling individual agency? The core of my work then breaks down into 3 sections. First, understanding how my work still matters. Experiential learning, democratic participation. These are more crucial than ever in an AI-driven world. Second, understanding the problems that tech can cause. What are the risks of relying too much on algorithms? Finally, understanding the potential for people to fight back. How can individuals and decentralized networks resist the homogenizing influence of unchecked technological advancement? That's where true progress lies. All right, let's dive into how my work from the early 20th century can inform our thinking about the AI revolution of 2026. My philosophy, at its core, was always about practical learning and social progress. Now we're facing a new kind of industrial revolution driven by algorithms and AI. How do we ensure these technologies serve humanity? My work emphasized experiential learning and active democratic participation, principles even more vital in an AI-dominated world. But that also means we must address the hubris of this system. We have to examine the risks of blindly trusting algorithms in education and society. Could AI standardize learning, stifling creativity? I worried about bureaucratic control in schools. How is this expressed when AI is implemented? It is important to ensure there is a network of resistance. That is, individual users and decentralized networks must be empowered to challenge homogenizing influences and reinforce human benefit at all costs. All right, let's dive into how my work resonates today. In essence, I championed experiential learning and democracy. Think of it as learning by doing and empowering everyone to participate. Ideas that are incredibly vital as we navigate an AI-driven world. My focus was on preparing citizens for a dynamic, ever-changing society. Fast forward to 2026, and that's precisely what we face with AI transforming everything. Now the question is, how do we apply my principles to the way we teach and interact with these new technologies? How do we avoid the dangers of unchecked technological advancement, especially in education? I warned about the pitfalls of top-down bureaucratic control in schools. Imagine what I would say about an education system dominated by algorithms. We must empower individuals and decentralized networks to resist the homogenizing influences of AI and ensure that technology serves human benefit, not the other way around. All right, let's dive into how my ideas resonate today. Think of this as taking a classic and giving it a modern spin, like a remix. First, we dig deep. I call it new historicism. My time, like yours, was a period of massive change. I saw the rise of factories. You see the rise of AI. Then, actor network theory. In my day, the printing press shaped ideas. Now it's algorithms, social media, the metaverse itself. These are actors influencing us. Now, what worries you? Job losses from AI, data privacy, inequality amplified by technology. These are the horizons of expectation. So, why am I relevant? My focus on learning by doing and engaging in democracy is crucial. We must apply these principles to how we interact with AI. Section 2 warns of the hubris of system, the risks of blindly trusting technology, especially in education. AI shouldn't stifle creativity, right? Finally, revolt of networks. How do we, as individuals, resist being steamrolled? All right, let's dive into how my work resonates today, even more so than when I first penned it. Think of it this way. Back in my day, we were grappling with the Industrial Revolution and the rise of public education. Fast forward to 2026, and we're facing an AI revolution, algorithms shaping governance, the metaverse becoming a new kind of school. My emphasis on practical, experiential learning is now crucial. We've got to ask, how do we prepare citizens for a world increasingly shaped by AI? How do we ensure technology serves human needs, not the other way around? My work suggests we analyze the risks of blindly trusting technology. What systemic failures might arise from over-reliance on algorithms? How do we prevent AI from stifling creativity and critical thought, essentially turning education into a standardized, automated process? Even networks can be corrupted. We must ensure that they act in the best interests of the individual. My insights into the dynamics of power and control are perhaps more relevant now than ever before. All right, let's dive into how my work, my philosophy of pragmatism, resonates today in this burgeoning age of AI and biotech. Think of it as Dewey 2.0, resurrected and retooled for 2026. First, we need to understand the landscape. Just as the Industrial Revolution shaped my thinking, AI is shaping yours. My focus on practical education, preparing people for a changing world, is more vital than ever. Now, regarding potential pitfalls, unchecked technological advancement. My Hubris of Systems section warns against blindly trusting algorithms, particularly in education. I saw the dangers of top-down bureaucratic control in schools. Now, imagine that control amplified by AI. But there's hope. My Revolt of Networks section explores how individuals, how decentralized communities, can push back against these homogenizing forces. It's about ensuring technology serves humanity, not the other way around. The question is not can we, but should we, as we venture further. All right, let's delve into how my philosophy, particularly my focus on education and societal progress, resonates in your current world. This slide outlines a strategy to understand and apply my ideas to the age of AI and advanced biotechnologies. Firstly, we look at the parallels between my time, the Industrial Revolution, and 2026, which is experiencing an AI revolution. Back then, it was factories. Now it's algorithms. This approach helps us understand why my emphasis on practical education and democratic participation is crucial today. We need to see how this focus could make sense in our modern world. Next, we examine the actors at play. In my time, it was the printing press and the public school system. Now it's AI algorithms and social media platforms. We need to examine how these entities shape learning and social interaction. Finally, we consider the anxieties of today: job displacement, data privacy, algorithmic bias, and the erosion of individual agency. By understanding these concerns, we can frame my philosophy as a means to create a more humanistic approach to technological evolution, ensuring that AI truly benefits humanity. All right, let's delve into how my philosophy, particularly my emphasis on education and social progress, translates to your 2026 world, dominated as it is by AI and biotechnologies. The core of my work, as you know, revolves around the concept of experiential learning, of preparing citizens for a dynamic, ever-changing world. Now consider your AI revolution, your algorithmic governance. The anxieties you face, job displacement, data privacy, algorithmic bias, are, in essence, modern echoes of the concerns I addressed in my own time. My work is not just some relic of the past. It is, I would argue, a critical foundation for navigating the future. We must ask ourselves, are we applying technology in a way that truly benefits humanity, or are we succumbing to the hubris of system, creating rigid, standardized structures that stifle creativity and critical thinking? How can we use networks, individuals, to revolt against the negative effects? It is crucial now, more than ever, to ensure technology serves democratic ideals, not the other way around. All right, let's dive into this strategic framework I've developed for understanding my own work in the context of 2026. I call it the modernized classic, Dewey in the Age of AI. First, we look at the fusion of horizons. Why is my philosophy still valid? It's about experiential learning and democratic participation. In an AI-driven world, this is crucial. Education should prepare citizens for a changing world. We must apply these ideas to how we teach and interact with AI, ensuring a humanist approach. Then we examine the hubris of system. This is a Scott view, looking at the risks of unchecked technological advancement. I always worried about top-down control in schools. Now, how does that play out with AI? We need to identify potential systemic collapses from over-reliance on algorithms, potentially stifling creativity. Finally, the revolt of networks. This involves how individuals and decentralized networks can resist the homogenizing influence. But we'll get into that later.